episode 3, we're presented into a flashback into British India in 1945. So we're finally getting a little bit more of a backstory of the bracelet, and we get to work out that obviously it's about a bracelet belongs to a group of jinns. So the jinns are the mystical people. They were essentially called a number of different things, but they are the group that have magical powers based off of, folklore, and that sort of is what revolves around this whole bracelet fiasco that's sort of portraying out here, where we had that really cool opening start where the weird thing was like the body had a blue hand. I'm not sure what the whole blue hand is about, but I guess we'll sort of find out. And we get to see the group that are obviously stuck in a different dimension, so there's a whole different timelines going on, and we get to see Kamala getting dragged into that conflict where we finally do get to see a villain. So our mum is obviously turns out to be the villain. Like, I really like that group dynamic that's forming, and besides the last 10 minutes, this episode was really slow, but that actual fight scene was really cool. Reminded me of Jurassic Park, where they're in the kitchen trying to avoid the dinosaur, but each of these sort of people in the group have these unique weapons, and they're coming out and they're really trying to put the hurt on anyone that will stop them from getting Kamala to harness the power of the bracelet, because they want to be able to get back to their time. Like, it's not fully explained, but we're assuming that's what they want to do. So when the mum actually does finally grab the bracelet, we see a train coming, so I'm assuming they're trying to go back to whatever time period they came, and the dangerous aspect that they're sort of hinting at may be the actual timeline. They don't know where they're going to pop back into, but I guess we'll sort of see where that sort of unfolds into it. Did like the sort of comical way they were explaining things, where sometimes it did take away from the tension that they probably should have been trying to feed in, but that's the way they've gone. Like, this feels a bit more like a sitcom than anything. Like, the way they deliver lines, there's less dramatic feel in terms of the actual story, and more of a James Gunn kind of here's some information, here's a joke. So they go a little bit too heavy on the jokes, where a little bit more of giving us that full feedback and that origin story that we've been kind of wanting. I know it's only a 6-episode series, so we're still at episode 3 and we don't have a lot of information yet. In the crypt, like, it falls into that actual cliche of once they get the treasure, the crypt starts to crumble and they have to escape. Like, why does it always have to crumble? Can't they just casually walk out? Like, I don't know how that signals for all this stone structure to fall. Like, surely not every crypt's made of magic. It's good and bad, but like, they're trying to explain like the jinns and the organisation they are, but instead of like giving Kamala all the information, they just focused on the little love story. By agents, they just come in like, we've got no rhyme or reason why they're actually out and about sort of searching for anyone with powers. Like, I'm sure it'll get drip fed to us in the next couple of episodes, but there's no reason why they're so hell-bent on getting anyone with powers. And like, it's happened so many times. Like, Kamala's talking about her powers and the jinns and trying to explain it. She's going on this rant. She looks like she's finally going to figure it out, and then Bruno's just like, I'm going to Caltex, and just takes away all that tension that we've finally built and we've sort of looked at for the last 2 episodes about the powers and where they come from, but it just never sort of has that payoff. And the first 30 odd minutes, there's this really slow burn. It just feels like a slice of life. Like, it has no real aspect in terms of powers or anything. But when the last 10 minutes, where we actually do get to have that final fight scene, and you sort of see her developing and working with her powers, which seems to come off real natural compared to like she did one training montage. Like, I feel like we might need 1 or 2 more montages of her training to see that she is developing her powers rather than just going about her day-to-day life. But when she was using the powers and like seeing her slip between all the different kitchen parts and finally like taking things into her own hands and using the powers at free will, that was really cool to see. Like, that's what I want to see more of. This was the weakest episode of all 3 so far, and I'm hoping they're going to be able to pick the pace up and like redeem themselves in the next 3 episodes. So yeah, I'm going to stick it out, see where it goes, but unfortunately this episode is the weakest of the 3, and yeah, hopefully they improve from there. Let me know what you think below, and yeah, you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.